Hi, I'm Tristan Pravong, and I'm with the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press. Today I'm happy to be joined by Tristan Pravong. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so excited to dive into the Black Phone, your character, your time on set, and all of
Mhm.
that. But I wanted to cycle back a bit because you noted watching a lot of Disney Channel, Nickelodeon when you were growing up, and that inspired you to start acting. So, who are some of your favorite actors, characters, TV shows during that period?
Yeah, so a lot of the shows I watched growing up were like Kicking It and Austin and Ally. I definitely looked up to like Leo Howard and Ross Lynch because they were both just so cool. Leo Howard was doing all these karate moves and kicking butt and kicking it and all that. And then Ross Lynch was playing this overnight sensation singer. And, that was so cool. So those were like my two big favorite actors that I looked up to at the time.
Austin Moon, right? I think that was it. I think that was a
Yeah,
generation after mine, but I'm familiar
yeah,
because he's still a rock star today, just working on
he
his
is.
music.
He is, and he's acting. He's a triple threat. So he's yeah.
Something you might aspire to be, do more of in the future, maybe.
One can only hope. I wish I could be like him, but I'm not much of a good singer or a dancer. So yeah.
You're a musician. I mean, I know that you play piano, so that you have that
Mhm.
going for you.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I have been kind of slacking lately, but I'm gonna start picking it up again. I will start picking it
It will hold you to that. But I know today Timothy Chalamet is another inspiration of yours. What do you enjoy about him and his work?
up. What I enjoy about him is just he has a really good character, and the things that he puts in his work has so many layers to it. There's always just so many. When you reveal one layer, there's always another layer, and you can really just tell the the things he tries to say through his eyes, through his face, through the micro movements that he does. And that's what makes him such a great actor at his young, ripe age. And he's one of the actors that I aspire to be. He does projects that I would love to do. Um, and he does them so well. So that's what I love about him.
What have been your favorite like projects or films that he's done?
Um, it was the one with Steve Carell. Um,
Oh, Beautiful Boy.
yeah. That was such a beautiful film. Everything in it was so raw. And I really love projects like that that show raw human nature like that. And yeah, it's such a beautiful film.
You've been to acting boot camp, various acting classes in
Mm.
Texas. So tell me a bit about your training and how you've been working to strengthen your knowledge and your skill set.
Yeah, so I've been working with three acting coaches. I've been working with them sporadically across my career so far, and each one has provided me with sufficient amounts of philosophies and tactics and new information to help better myself. And the one I'm with right now, she's amazing at what she's doing, and the intensity level this year that she's bringing us to is it's harder, but I love it because I know in the long run it's gonna elevate my acting ability to this level that I haven't reached yet, but I can't wait to reach that level, and and yeah, the philosophies that they all provide is just amazing, and I can't wait to give my all to soak up this information. So
What are some exercises you've kind of been doing in these acting classes that have been pushing you out of your comfort zone?
so something that we've been working on recently is tactic changes. Throughout a scene, instead of just doing one tactic to get what you want, a lot of times people change what they want to do. It'll be like, Mom, can I go to the movie theater? Or Mom, can I please go to the movie? You're constantly changing what you're trying to get to. And that's something we've been working on. And something I do is just I try and practice my diction a lot to try and just upkeep with that. Um, and yeah.
It's some kind of, I want to say, adaptation technique, right? And it's
Mm.
great that you're learning it because you're still young and early on in your career. Before we get into the details of the Black Phone, I did want to say I was happy to see diversity representation in this movie. For you as an Asian American actor, have you sensed any kind of shift over the past few years where there have been more opportunities for actors like yourself?
Yeah, and it's so exciting to see because it's just when you grow up and you don't really see it, it's like okay, it's whatever. But then you start seeing people that look like yourself, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And you see, Shang-Chi, the first Asian lead in an MCU movie, and that's where I discovered young actors like Dallas Liu. And you have upcoming actors like Lola Tung, all that. They're really cool actors. And, just, and also, I guess myself, it's really cool. And it's like, oh my gosh, like, so I can't wait to see what future roles there is for, Asian actors and all that.
It really is an exciting time. You mentioned Dallas. I think, will he be in? Is it the new Avatar? Maybe.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the new Avatar live action that I've been looking forward to. I've been seeing all these amazing young actors getting casted into this, and I've I've just been following it, and I'm really excited to see where it goes and see the success from that film.
I know you're kind of sitting on the sidelines, but I hope you get your chance soon. You mentioned Shang-Chi, Lola Tung in The Summer I Turned Pretty. I really like that series, another
Mhm,
kind of young adult adaptation of books. But you've also been doing more martial arts this past year. So has
mhm.
it been nice to kind of reconnect with your body and mind? I know you've said before that it's also taught you a lot of kind of life lessons.
hmm Yeah, for sure. There's so much discipline that comes into it. Not only disciplining how to move your body, but it's also kind of disciplining your mind because you you're teaching yourself something that could do damage to somebody, but you have to teach yourself, no, I'm not going to use this unless I really, really have to in a self-defense situation. Um, so it's discipline all around, and you're teaching yourself how to balance your lifestyle. There's so many areas of balance that we do need to contribute to in our life, and martial arts really helps us um, deal with that.
It'd be nice to kind of test out those skills actually in a
Yeah,
project. I'm guessing
yeah,
you'd want to do that.
yeah, for sure. You know, the Black Phone had some fight scenes. Those are pretty cool scenes. So, but my character Bruce, he's a really, really nice kid, and I don't know if he would be able to fight like that. So, it's up to me to get another role where maybe my character's kicking butt. So,
Now, getting into Bruce Yamada, we do see a montage of what his life was like with his loving parents, the role of baseball. So I was curious, all good.
yeah, okay.
I was curious if you thought about any other details for his backstory, what you created or what you discussed with your writers.
For me, I feel like Bruce had a really simple lifestyle. It really just revolved around family, baseball, and doing the things that he just loves. Like just taking your bike out on a nice day. That's something that I do personally, and I I kind of made Bruce's life kind of like similar to mine because I played baseball for 8 years. I love my family and friends, and I really do take my bike out to the playground and just swing on the swing. I'm not kidding. I actually do that stuff. So I really just kind of made him similar to me. And I think the casting department did a really good job at that because I connected with Bruce really, really well. And I related to him on a really deep level, except for the actually getting kidnapped part. But yeah, but yeah.
I love that you were kind of able to incorporate pieces in your own life. We know that he has a sister. Do you have any siblings in your life?
I do. I do. I have a younger brother and a younger sister, the oldest. So
So you did get to kind of take a bit of that portion. Unfortunately, we don't see like Bruce interact with his younger sister, but
Mm-hmm.
he is Japanese American. Did you ever think about that portion, maybe like when his family moved to the US?
It was like, well, my family also immigrated. So I definitely thought about that, what it's like moving to a new country and trying to make the most of what you got. Maybe Bruce's family might not have the best financial situation, so he's not really worrying about it. And he's just going out there, having fun with baseball and enjoying what life has to give.
Yeah, well, it's clear he's good at baseball, and I like what you mentioned, making the most out of life and his opportunities. Now, a large part of the Ghost Kids' presence was through their phone calls with Finney. For your
Mhm.
calls, what did you really want to focus on in your dialogue and tone?
Um, with that, I really just based everything off what Mason, who plays Finney, what he did, because I had a monitor, and during our phone call scene, he, I would just watch his posture and watch what he did, and I would kind of just articulate what I would do based off of him, and I would also try and just make my tone um, just kind of scary because that's what they told me to do. That's what they told me to do. So I would just um, try and make it as creepy as possible. And I would just time it up with Mason. And yeah, I think we really connected through the phone on that scene. So I think it was, yeah,
Yeah, it was like a back and forth, like responsive, and I like that you were kind of
yeah.
taking cues from Mason as well. He says that the phone rang for the other boys, but they couldn't hear it. Why do you think that was? What made Finney so different than the others?
I think it could be because of the mother. We hear the mother has powers and he passes it on to Gwen. Could have passed it on to Finney, but he didn't know. And so yeah, that's my theory because passing it on to her children. So
Yeah. And he also mentions that I'm glad it's you on the phone. Why do you think he said that?
because his arms meant his arms meant, he could swing, and Bruce knows that Finney can beat the grabber. Yeah.
I like that explanation. I feel like you were kind of waiting to put that in there, but I know people will love to hear you say it. And do you think that they actually would have been good friends had they met under different circumstances? Because I feel like from that initial baseball scene, it's established that they have respect for each other. Like Bruce is a nice guy, but this
Mhm,
is an era before social media, cell phones for kids to keep
mhm.
in touch. Do you think they would have been friends?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like if they, maybe played on a team together, they would definitely be good friends. Because that respect goes a long way. But when you finally get to know somebody, that's where you can really kindle a good friendship with them. And yeah, for sure, for sure.
So he does call Finney's arm mint in the movie, but in the short story, he calls it dirty. Were you a fan of the adjective change?
I honestly like both. Like, I feel like either or could work. I feel like they would both do their justice in the movie. Your Arm is Meant did its justice. I feel like Your Arm is Dirty could also do its justice. Um, yeah, I think they're both awesome.
We'll let people sound off on which one they like better, but I know Mint
Yeah.
really caught on to social
Mhm.
media, so there's that. Do you ever think about what would have happened to Bruce during his time with the grabber, like how long he lasted, what went on
Mhm.
down there?
I definitely think that he was kept in like such solitary confinement for so long. Um, and you can kind of see basing off the other Shadow Kids what they went through were like the cuts and stuff. Bruce definitely didn't have a good time. Um, and you know, having to play that game of Naughty Boy, it was definitely just, really, really creepy, really bad. And yeah, that's just naughty boy. It's a weird game. So that's probably what Bruce had to go through during his time down there.
Do you think that he would have tried to escape multiple times?
Yeah, for sure. I think Bruce, he told Finney to do the digging in the basement, and Bruce, he probably tried to dig underneath a foundation, but it just didn't work. That's just what he tried to do. Because at the end of the movie, everything that the Shadow Kids did individually didn't work, but all together, it all unified and ended up helping Finney escape.
Yeah, I think that that was a really kind of symbolic build-up throughout
Right.
the film, and unfortunately, the other kids didn't make it out. But like you
Yeah.
mentioned, they kind of helped Finney to being reunited with
Hmm.
Gwen and his dad. Now, what was your opinion of the grabber, his mask, just overall as a movie villain, and also comment on Ethan's portrayal of him?
It was creepy. I will say it was creepy. And the mask in itself, it was creepy. And then you see Ethan come to life with this character. And there's this one scene where he was just like, and there's this buzzing silence through the air. In the film, it was so silent, but there was so much tension that Ethan brought. And you could cut it with a knife. And and he really knocked it out of the park. He was really creepy. And he did his part in the film for sure. For sure.
Did you get to meet him on set at all or at the premiere?
Yeah, I got to meet him on set. We did a scene together that I think it got cut out of the film, but it was just such a pleasure being able to work with him. We got to have some small talk. I didn't really get to connect with him on a deep level, but we had some small talk. Like, oh, what's your name? Oh, I'm Tristan. And it was really nice getting to chat with him a bit.
Obviously, would like to work with him again in the future.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, he's a pleasure to work with. He's so down to earth, and yeah, he's been killing it lately too. Like his recent projects, they've been doing amazing.
And not just killing it because of the grabber and what
Yeah,
the grabber's
yeah,
done into
yeah.
characters, including yourself. But did you get to take home anything from the Black Phone set?
No, I didn't get to take anything home from the Black Phone set. I really wish I could. But yeah, no, I didn't get to.
It would have been nice to have the North Denver baseball jersey. I was thinking about like
Mm,
objects each character could take
wait,
home.
wait. Okay, it wasn't from the set, but the whole cast went to the beach to play football, and I still have that football in my room. I still have it on my shelf. So I didn't take it home from set, but like that's like something like I'll look at my shelf like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like that was such a good day. And yeah.
Yeah, what's a core memory? And I mean, those are things that you can kind of keep. And we'll talk a bit about behind the scenes in just a moment. But what was your experience like working with your director, Scott Derrickson, his vision for this movie, and overall just how he interacted with the cast and crew?
Scott, I he's so amazing. He's such a nice guy. And working with him was such a pleasure. Since day one, he was really, really good at prioritizing the children because we had a rain scene and it was like 40 degrees. And he was like, you guys are not gonna be like it's cold out, but you guys are not gonna be freezing. Like I'm gonna make sure you guys are my priority. He did a really good job at prioritizing us. And he's so good at reassuring that we're doing okay. I had a scene where I was kind of nervous. It was my first scene with lines in such a big production. I was really nervous and I was kind of shaken up a bit during the first couple of takes. And he comes over to me. He's like, "Hey, you're doing amazing. You're doing just fine. You got this. Just maybe do it this way, and you're gonna knock it out the ballpark." And so he really just helped establish confidence in me to help get through that day. And yeah, he's such an amazing guy.
It's so nice to hear how kind he was, and that really makes, making a movie all the more better when you have these good people behind the scenes. What do you remember from watching the movie for the first time at the premiere and getting to celebrate with everyone?
Watching it for the first time was this, oh my gosh, it was this surreal moment. You're in like the Chinese theater and in LA, and you're sitting there and you're watching yourself having the opening scene, and you're like, what the heck? Like, this is crazy. Like, because it's something that you work for and you dream about. And then when you finally see it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I cannot wait. And then you see all the other actors and you see all their amazing performances too. Maddie and Mason, they did amazing. Everybody did amazing. The boys did amazing. The other Shadow kids did amazing. Ethan did amazing. Just everybody. The cinematography was amazing. That, like, it would be impossible for me to forget that night because that was just such an amazing time. Yeah.
And getting to celebrate also with, I'm sure, a lot of your family was there in attendance as well.
Yeah. I went with my aunt and my mom, and uh just it was nice being able to share that with them because they sacrificed so much for me, to be able to go to these acting classes, to be able to go to these auditions. So for me to be able to provide them with like a red carpet experience, what it's like to go through a red carpet and do an interview, like I'm glad I'm able to provide that for them because they do so much for me, and it was really a special moment for all of us.
Take me behind the scenes. What are some of your favorite memories, either from set or just being in North Carolina, getting to bond with this cast?
There's this one particular memory with Miguel, um, and we had the day off, so we're like, huh, let's go to an amusement park. So you drive out to an amusement park, and there's this one particular ride where it goes like, and we're like, I don't know, man. Like, Mikey's like, I don't know, I don't know if I want to go on there, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to go either. And there's a thought in my mind that goes, wait, it'll be really scary for like 2 minutes, but then after, we'll be able to laugh about this for the rest of our lives. And I was like, I don't want to go on this, but I'm gonna make you go on it with me anyway. So I'm like, Mikey, we're going on this ride. We're like, okay. And then we're on the ride and we're swinging. And he's like, why did you make me go on this? Why did you make me go? What the heck, man? Like, and then we get off and we're like, that was so scary. I'm never doing that again. But then 5 minutes later, we're like, that was crazy. I'm so glad we did that because nobody died, and now we're able to laugh at it. Now we can look back and be like, dude, you remember that time we went on that ride and we were screaming our heads off? Like, God, that was such a fun memory. And I look back at it all the time. It's so fun.
I think it's like that fear factor kind of thing, but I'm glad you're here to tell this story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Our moms were definitely worried. They're like, I don't know. And I was like, we're gonna go on it anyway. So
You shut it down. You're like, I have to do this at least once.
mhm,
Maybe what
mhm.
at some point you get to do it again. Brady, we spoke with, and he mentioned that I think it was your dad who got him to try oysters for the first time.
Yeah. Yeah, we went to this like New Orleans restaurant with like oysters and all that. And so yeah, he ordered like a plate of them, and then he was like, hey, try it, try it. And he put it like on a cracker um with like horseradish or something like that. And then he like made him try it. And then he was like, oh, that was nasty. And yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he said he didn't like it very much. But
Hmm.
I feel like it's an acquired taste for sure, like the raw
Hmm.
oysters.
For sure,
I
yeah.
know that you and Mason are both from Texas. You've said you go out to eat together. Favorite food spots?
Um, we go and eat at like really we go like somewhere with like an activity where we're like occupied by something, and then we'll just order food there. We'll go to like bowling. We'll go Top Golf. We'll go to the movies. I remember you were like it was like maybe like a couple of weeks after the premiere. You're like, "Yo, do you want to go watch the Black Phone?" I was like, "Sure, I guess." And we ended up going to watch it just for fun, laughs and giggles, and making fun of ourselves on the screen. We're like, "Oh, who is that? Who is that? I don't know." And we just like eat food there, and yeah.
I can imagine you guys sitting in the back of the theater, and it's like when you're not supposed to be talking, but you'll just be like hitting each other all the time, talking about the scenes and what happened, just because it's jogging your memory again.
And it's like we'd be like, "Wait, I found Finney. He's right here." And there was also like a couple that was sitting right next to us. We could tell that they like knew. We could tell that they knew. They're like, "Wait, they're right there," but we didn't want to say anything. Because we don't want to bother anybody. But we just like knew, and we are like, okay, yeah, it's just funny. So
I mean, for them, I'm sure it was cool to see the actors in person, but it's nice that I guess they didn't end up saying anything to you guys after.
well, we really didn't mind if they didn't say anything. But if they were to, we would happily, uh, talk to them, and maybe if they wanted a picture, we would happily take a picture. Um, but yeah.
I think that you might be having more experiences like that in the future. I know some of your co-stars have already going out to public events. I just wanted to note because I know that you love sushi. So what are your go-to sushi spots in Texas or your hometown?
I don't know if I have a go-to spot, but I do have like a go-to like rolls in like so I'll have like salmon sashimi, um eel roll or a caterpillar roll. It's like a roll that looks like a caterpillar, but it has like avocado. I have like eel sauce, something in it. Those are like my mains, and then I'll just eat the rest off my family. And yeah,
Yeah, like two rolls and then anything else
yeah,
anyone else orders. Like
yeah, pretty
that's a good
much.
way to go, a good way to get some variety there. Something very cool is that there is a Black Phone haunted house at Halloween Horror Nights in both Hollywood and Orlando. I know some of your co-stars have gone. Have you heard from them or any other friends what to expect?
Yeah, they've a couple of them have gone, a handful of them have gone, and they look like they're having tons of fun. So I'm gonna be checking it out sometime soon, and I can't wait to see uh, which one or what it has to offer. I'm really excited to see the haunted house, and yeah, see maybe I'll see myself like my missing poster maybe on the wall, and I'm like, what? That's me, and I'll maybe take a funny picture or something. So I'm excited.
Definitely need to take a selfie if that happens. And I do think that this interview would be posted after you go, but I think it's public knowledge that you, Brady, and Jacob are supposed to go together if it works out, fingers crossed. But you would also be spending time at the park before going to the haunted house. Hopefully, get to maybe meet some fans, take those pictures you were talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If we run into any, happily be able to talk with them, get to know them. It's always good to get to know the people that support you. And yeah, I'm really, really excited. Really excited. Can't wait to like just walk around and ride the mummy. Oh my gosh, I love that ride. That ride is so good. It is so scary, but it is so fun. It is so fast. I love that ride. Amazing.
So you've been to the park before, but maybe not in some time.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I remember riding it a couple years ago, and the rides there are good. Those are some good rides, so I'm excited.
So speaking about, Halloween haunted houses in general, how are you with haunted houses jump scares?
Ooh, I'm not the best at them. I've gotten better. It's been like I've only gone to like two neighborhood haunted houses. I never really do haunted houses. Um, I remember growing up in my old neighborhood, there's like a haunted house that one of my neighbors down the block would throw. And me and my neighborhood buddies would be like, let's go in, let's go in. I'd be like, no, you guys can go in. I'll sit back. I'll just rest back here.
Was it you? I think, did you mention maybe like throwing out a punch, or you might be inclined to, if someone jumps out at you, would that be your reflex reaction?
um, I don't know about like actually throwing the punch, but I think I'll like, square up
Yeah, the
or
defense position
yeah.
automatically.
So yeah, for sure. I'll throw up my guard and hope for the best.
Well, you'll have some other people there, so it won't just be you alone. For Halloween, what are some memorable costumes that you remember dressing up as when you were younger?
Ooh, I had an Assassin's Creed costume made by my mother, which she's
Moms are the
amazing.
best.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
just
handmade
like,
costumes.
I was like, hey, mom, can I have this costume? She's like, yeah, I'll make it. I'm like, thank you. And it was like better than any Halloween costume store costume. And it was the best costume I could ask for. Other than that, I've dressed up as Spider-Man, um, the Hulk, Superman, really the superheroes, I can't tell. But um, yeah, I think those are a couple. And a zombie soldier when I was like 5. Yeah.
Yeah, just the video games, comic book heroes.
Mm-hmm.
We can sense that there. Which candy did you love to get while trick-or-treating? If you had to pick one, is there one that you were always just so excited to to receive?
Ooh, probably Milky Way or Almond Joy. I really like Almond Joy. I like coconut, so probably yeah, Almond Joy.
Let's talk about the fans because the support has been so wild and passionate. What have been some things that you've seen or messages you've received, and what has that meant to you?
Yeah, the the messages I've received from fans have just been so nice. And when the initial release happened, I kind of was, expecting a successful release, but I wasn't gonna get my hopes up. I didn't want to do that. Because you can never really fully tell the future. But it just kept going up. Like my follower count just kept going up. And there's like certain points where I was like, okay, it's probably gonna stop here. I didn't think I would go above 20K. I thought that was 20K max. That was it. And it just reached 50K, then 100K, then 200, and then here we are now. And and the fan base is so dedicated, and they're so um just passionate about the movie. And I know there's huge fan bases in internationally, like Brazil, and some Asian countries. And it's so amazing. It's so surreal. It's a dream come true. And I couldn't ask like any more. Like it's just they're so amazing. And yeah.
Instagram and TikTok. Do you ever go through your tags, see what you've been tagged in with respect to edits or comments on your TikToks?
Yeah, all the time, all the time. I go through and I try and go through as many edits as I can. Um, not for the whole day, but like I'll maybe take like maybe 10 minutes to go through and watch and like and acknowledge as much as possible. Because I know that like it takes a little out of my day to make somebody else's day, right? For me, it's a double tap watching it and be like, this is really cool. And I double tap it. And for them, it could make their day. So I really like to try and do that. And yeah, I just try to see all of the things that they do for me, because a lot of them, they'll take like maybe a couple hours to draw me. And that deserves to be acknowledged. That deserves to be acknowledged 100%. So I try and take time to find that stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm sure fans appreciate it. I mean, you're very busy yourself. Has it ever gotten like overwhelming for you to be on social media so much, but I do like that you kind of take 10 minutes. I think that's a reasonable amount of time per day for you.
Yeah. I would say at first, when you're first receiving it, like all this attention, it's like a flood. You're just getting flooded with all this attention and dopamine, and you're just like, and it can be a lot. But right now I have this kind of like this tight knit group of friends that I'm really going back to, and I'm constantly checking up, how do you think I'm doing? I'm not getting big headed. Like, tell me if I'm getting big headed, because that's the one thing I don't want. That's one of my priorities right now, is just stay as level headed and have as much humility as possible. And I try not to let the followers or anything affect the way I live too much. Obviously, when you get to a certain point, you might be forced to change your life a little bit, but I don't let it affect the way I live too much. Like, I'll still go to my school's football games. I still want to interact with my school friends. I want to get to know all the people at my school, because I know that I have one more year and then I, go off into the real world. So I want to get to know and build relationships with as many people as possible. Yeah.
It's so important to have a good support system to keep you grounded, and it seems like you do. Now, what can you tell me I know we're just talking about staying grounded and ego, but what can you tell me about Tristan for president? What do you know about that?
Oh my God. I think it's funny. I don't even know who started it. I don't know how it started. It just caught on. And then next thing you know, I'm on flags, I'm on cakes, and people are just like, that's my president. That's my president. I'm like, sure, I guess, so it's, I find it really funny. And yeah, it's just, it's cool,
I mean, it's nice to know that if you ever got a campaign running, you already have that built-in support.
Yeah,
that's already there.
Sure.
We'll go through some tweets now.
Oh, I'm excited. What could this be? Contrary to the joke about my Wi-Fi, my Wi-Fi is doing bad. Oh my gosh. This is okay. I got one. It's Tristan Pravong is in the Pookie bag. What? What does that mean?
So you haven't heard of that term before, right?
No.
Okay, I also have not. So I looked at it on Urban Dictionary. So I'll read you the definition, what it says for Pookie, and then you can kind of think about it. The expression Pookie is a term of endearment for someone or something that you care about deeply in your life. The phrase can act as a pet name for your lover or partner, or it could be a pet name for your daughter or your pet poodle. It is a word you use when you describe something cute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you to Pookie OTD. Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. From Cole's BFF, watching the Blackthorn wasn't enough. I need to see Bruce Yamada beat the Grabber's ass with his baseball bat. Okay, maybe we'll see that in the next one. If there is a next one, we'll see.
Do you think he ever stood a chance, or not really?
Bruce?
Yes.
He's a nice guy, but he's got that fire in him. You could tell in the beginning of the movie, he has built-in fire. He's dedicated to winning, so I'm sure he has that fire to live too. He's got it. H6 PPER Hopper with the 6 in it. Say what you want, but I think Bruce Yamada would be an avid ABBA fan. Yeah, sure. I think he would be an ABBA fan. I think he would enjoy the music.
Are you an ABBA fan? Are you familiar with ABBA's music?
I'm familiar with a couple songs. I'm not familiar with a lot. but a couple.
What songs? Is it like the Dancing Queen, Mamma Mia?
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Classics.
Yeah, the classics. Cygnus Allure and Brady Hebner and Tristan Pravong we trust. Our founding fathers, the leaders of Brand's Nation. Oh, oh my gosh. Brand's Nation.
Okay, what are your thoughts? Because we spoke with Brady. He said, sorry, Tristan. He started it. He left a comment somewhere. People have absolutely ran with this. And it's just a lot of engagement. So what are your thoughts? I knew I had to ask you.
It's you know, I mean, what people think or put into perspective is up to them. But for me, it's like it's Brady. He's my homie. Yeah, you know. So it's like, oh, okay. I mean, I can't really control what people do, what people ship, I guess. But for me, it's just like Brady's my homeboy.
Yeah, it's hard to look at it like that, but I mean, if you've seen some of the fan art that people have done for them too, it's like absolutely unbelievable. The amount of dedication of this ship. A couple more questions to end things off. First off, just some quick artists. Who are you listening to on your playlist right now?
Ooh, everything right now is just like Giveon. Like he is so good. And God, his voice is amazing. And I'm really, really liking Get to You on his most recent album release. And I've been listening to that like every day for the past 2 weeks. Such a good song. And yeah, amazing.
And our signature question for you, if you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
Probably sherbet, because it's like it's not basic, but it ain't too over the top. I'm like, it's like right in the middle. That's me.
I like that answer to end things off. Thank you so much, Tristan, for taking the time to chat.
For sure.
Really appreciate it.
For sure. Thank you for having me. This was really fun. And yeah, I enjoyed my time here.
Of course, make sure to everyone watching, you can catch Tristan in The Black Phone. It is out now on DVD and video on demand, and we will see you next time.